Class. Today I want to talk to you about training. This is what we're talking about in the forum this week. And, you know, since I'm 61 years old, I can tell you that I've experienced all sorts of training in my life. Going back to the early 70s, I can remember learning about the M16A1 rifle, sitting in bleachers in Heat Cat 500 down in, South Carolina, and everybody was really drowsy and it was really boring. But of course, you didn't want to fall asleep unless, you want to get hit by a drill sergeant back in those days. But since that time, training has really developed and become very dynamic. And the exciting thing is there are more choices today than there have ever been, and training can be very interesting. One of the things that we should all remember is training needs to be initial and follow-on, and that training needs to be documented. There are lots of different ways to conduct training. We can do the traditional classroom method. We can use online tools to do training for people in remote locations and that sort of thing. One of the things that I think makes training very dynamic is if we can set up scenarios and perhaps do some role-playing. I think that makes training more interesting to people. And although I don't have the statistics to back it up, I have a feeling that it also positively impacts retention of what one has learned. But there are many, many tools available. There's some great things online that you can use, like YouTube, for example, or Prezi is another one that you could use. So there are lots of tools out there, and I would encourage you to be really inventive. Some of the skills that we learn in the security field have to do with muscle memory, like range qualification, for example, or self-defense training. So those kinds of things are really very hands-on, and of course, you can watch those things done online, but you really need to do them yourself under good instruction to really understand those skills. Muscle memory tends to really debilitate if it's not repeated rather frequently over time. One of the things that I always objected to in the military police corps, and I don't know how that's done today, but in my day we qualified twice a year. We fired 50 rounds each time. And quite frankly, as a person who has handled firearms since I was a little kid in West Virginia my whole life, that's really insufficient for most people to even maintain minimum skills. It just isn't going to happen. There are a few people, of course, who can do that, who are natural, and I say more power to them. But for the rest of us, we really need to fire. Some of you would disagree with this, I'm sure, but I would say you would need to fire at least 50 rounds a month, every month. And of course, most organizations are not going to fund that because ammunition is pretty expensive. But to really maintain proficiency, you would need to do that. So that's something to remember about muscle skills. In protective services and that sort of thing, one of the things that you sometimes run into is that you're out on a mission, and it may be for an extended period of time. You're in a hotel room, and you may want to maintain physical fitness, but you're stuck in a hotel room. You can't go to the gym, perhaps. One of the things that I did and have done for years is I've always tried to maintain a high level of physical fitness without a gym. If you have a gym, that's a plus, but don't build that into your system where you're going to have a gym to go to. There's lots and lots and lots of things you can do without going to a gym. You can cross-country run. My back's bad now from running for years and years and years cross-country. And so, although I do that on occasion, what I do mainly now is an elliptical. And it's a great workout, it's low impact. So that's one of the things you can do. You can do push-ups, you can do sit-ups, you can do crunches, you can do all those things in your hotel room. And so there's really little excuse for most of us not to maintain some reasonable level of physical fitness, no matter where we are. Those are a few things, just a few of my thoughts on training. I'd be happy to hear comments from any of you. If you want to post a video in here, that's fine. If you want to just reply in a normal way in the forum, that's fine. But, you know, let's share our thoughts and ideas about this. Training can be very exciting, and I highly encourage that in all organizations. All right, thanks a lot and have a great day.